you close, and I need you close. Yeah, wish we could stay here forever. Each day you keep getting better. Gotta love you close, and I need you close. I need you close. Yeah, na 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 na. Every day, look away. Na 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 na. Every day, look away. We could be good friends. We could be good friends. We could be good friends. We could be good friends, yeah. We could be good friends. 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 We could be good friends, yeah. We could be good friends. We could be good friends, yeah. Each time you leave me, it's harder. Feels like I'm stuck underwater. Can't hold my breath. Don't know what's there. No. Na 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 na. Every day, look away. Na 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 na. Every day, look away.
Everybody, give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear me. We are going to get started rather quickly, but give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear me, just to make sure before we get started. I want to give people a chance to come in, and I need you also to let me know where you are watching from. Remember, 2 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Oh my goodness. They can't hear me, but you can hear me. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So let me know really quick in the chat where you are watching me from and what are you sipping on, right? Because if you read everything right, I put everything in the email, if you're coming from the email blast I sent out, or if you saw the post on the community tab, or if you read the description box, any of those things, you know that we're talking about everyone's glorious castor oil. So I don't want anybody to be upset. Hello. I don't want anybody to be upset. And I want y'all all to know that I am in the best mood ever. We are going to have all of the peace that the world has to offer. I have been in such a chill mood all day. I go through, I don't know how many cancers I have in the building, Missouri and here. But I'm a Cancer. Puerto Rico, oh girl, look at me. Ooh. Minnesota, Michigan. Oh, hey girl, I'm from Michigan. New York's in here. Toronto, Canada. Oh, Pennsylvania, Oakland, California, you right down the street. The Bronx, New York, New Jersey. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming and chilling with your girl. So, I'm sure you guys, oh, Canada, right? Team Cancer. Hello, how are you? So, you already know them. We go through these phases of isolation where the people who make a decision to be a part of our life have to be okay with that. They have to be okay with us going through these times of isolation and rejection. Oh my God, of like reflection where I'm kind of isolating myself so I can get back on track because it's really, really hard for me to have like a clear head and clear thoughts while I'm in the midst of other people's thoughts. Not that it's a problem, the other people are a problem, but that's just the type of person I am, right? Give me a 2 in the chat if you can relate. So as I am saying this, right? I need you guys to understand that everything that I am going to say today in this video is coming from love. It is coming from concern. If you hear what you may perceive um, as anger, is not anger. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm in a really, really, really good mood. I get really passionate about certain things and it may confuse you, right? So don't let that confuse you. I am not mad at anyone. I am not upset. I just get really passionate. So as we are talking, right, and as we're going through these different things, talking about oils and butters and greases, give me a three. No, give me a seven in the chat if you've heard of castor oil being like oh so amazing for hair growth, right? And I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying, let me know if you've ever heard of castor oil just being just the best thing since sliced bread as it pertains to hair, right? Castor oil, that's the one thing that you need. You have to grow your hair. If you need to grow your hair out, castor oil is the end all be all. Okay. So I want to first start off this conversation by saying, right, that I am an herbalist. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a herbalist, like, listen to me, I know everything about everything in the world. No, I want you to understand that I'm a herbalist so you can know that when I say don't put something in your hair, I'm not talking about it from a place of anger. I'm not talking about it from a place of aggression or anything like that, right? When I am talking about not putting oils and certain butters and things of that nature on the scalp, I need you to understand that I am looking at it from a holistic practice, right? In a holistic way, meaning that and not to say that you don't know what the word holistic means. I'm just giving you my definition, the way that I see it. Um it is not just as simple as okay, I'm just gonna put this oil, this butter, this whatever on my scalp. For me, it's deeper than that, right? I need to know how these things affect the entire body. And for me, the main issue that everybody runs into is everybody just simply looks at a couple of the benefits that these oils and butters have, but nobody looks at them at their core. Now, we're talking about castor oil today. It may hit a spot for some because castor oil is the favorite of many, but I need you to understand, I this is not the first, second, third, or fourth oil that I've came and said something about, right? And I also want to say this. Um, Ooh, baby, oil free for 2 weeks. Yes. So when I say this, I want you to understand before we hop into this that for one, I was going to do this way before this comment was made. But I know that a lot of you mean well when you make comments like, okay, Sam, don't address certain things, don't address certain people. But I don't when I'm addressing things, I'm not addressing it from a combative way. I am a mirror, right? So I want you to see yourself. I want you to see how the decisions that you make, I want you to see how the things that you say, how they mirror and where they go, right? So one of the last videos that I made when I was talking about castor oil not being for the scalp in the way that American women are using it now in 2025 and from before, right? When I said that, everybody's like, "Oh my God, I'm from Jamaica," and da 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 da, and all of the stuff. I'm not reading that. Y'all can read it yourself. But these are the type of things that we all have to combat against. Even though a lot of people were in the comments whenever I show what some people perceive as a negative comment, because I don't see this as a negative comment. Whenever I put things out there, people are like, "Oh, don't give them attention." But this is the thing that has everybody confused. This comments like this, or and not just this woman, but I won't say comments like this. Mentalities like this are the reason that everybody is confused because nobody can pay attention to the science because it's like I've seen women use oil and it's great, but at the end of the day, regardless of how you want to feel, right? Facts and feelings have absolutely nothing to do with each other. So, right now, what we're going to do is unpack the pros and the cons of castor oil and how it's really supposed to be used. Because, as an herbalist, I love this plant. It is one of the most powerful plants on this planet, and it is one of the most powerful things that you can have. I believe that every mother needs some form of castor oil in the house so they can save it for a rainy day. And I'm not talking about the scalp. So if you are ready to unpack this, give me a two. Okay. If your scalp is dry without oil, your follicles are blocked. And I need everybody to hear me when I say that. I'm not going to say it again tonight because that's not what I'm here for. But if your scalp is dry, your follicles are blocked. Period. You either have blocked follicles or something on the inside of your body is causing your sebum production to move slower. That's it. Nothing else. If your scalp is dry, there's something that you need to do. It's not normal. And there's you putting a coating on top of a scalp that's not producing oil isn't going to bring more oil out. I need us to unpack common sense today. Okay? Common sense. So let's get into it. As I'm reading in the pinned comment, there is the link to this blog post if you want to read along with me. All right. So let's break down castor oil, right? And hair growth. What history and science actually say, because we've been listening to what people on social media have to say, but what does the science and what were ancient civilizations truly using castor oil for? Because the way that y'all have been using it is wrong, and it's a fact. So let's get into it. Castor oil has been praised for generations as a go to hair growth remedy, but is it really the miracle that it is made out to be? Let's dive deep into the truth behind the hype with a little history, real science, and what actually makes your hair grow. Like, let's break it down, right? So, let's first jump into the ancient origins of castor oil. But first, if you do not have your notebook out with a pen or a pencil or a phone, a tablet, something that you could type with, we're gonna have a problem. Because when I make these videos, I'm not making these videos. Oh hell, Sindel said the Sindel method. No, we're unpacking the same things that most of us already learned because we going over basic anatomy, basic history, basic science, things that you can look up yourself. Okay. So castor oil's story starts way back in ancient Kemet slash Egypt, right? Where it was considered a sacred and, listen, medicinal staple. I need y'all to unpack that word, that first word, and I need y'all to pay attention to certain things. Egyptians used it in rituals to treat scalp wounds, skin conditions, and even induce labor. Okay, so all we know about castor oil right now, all we focus on is hair growth, but they used it to induce labor, which means that it was something taken internally. Okay, let's keep going. It was respected for its healing powers, not beauty trends. It wasn't like, oh, this is going to make me pretty. No. But here are the keys. They did not use it daily or leave it on their hair like we do today. It was applied as a treatment and then shampooed out, similar to how we do a scalp detox or a mask today. So castor oil was their version of a mask before they had their own conditioners, and they were shampooed out like with strong shampoos. They were not allowed to sit in the scalp, and in a second we're going to talk about why. So this was an oil that was used in multiple traditions, right? So when we're talking about Indian medicine and Ayurveda, it was used for dandruff and scalp infections and dandruff. Write that down. It's so important. We're about to unpack it in a minute. It is so important. We're going to dive into the key constituents that made that possible. Okay. So again, in India, in Ayurvedic medicine, they use castor oil for dandruff, which is a scalp infection. Dandruff is a scalp infection. It is a certain form of yeast that has overpopulated on the scalp, right? So it's treating yeast, killing yeast. When we're talking about scalp inflammation is the hair's follicle being completely inflamed, right? With due to certain practices that we're going to get to in a second, but it's inflamed with multiple sources of yeast and bacteria. It's been overran. That's what the inflammation is. And digestion, a lot of times when you're having problems with digestion, internally. They took castor oil internally. There are also microorganisms, certain types of parasites, all types of things blocking the bowel movement, and it stimulates that. Okay, so that's India. In Africa and in the Caribbean, the hot oil treatments were to reserve moisture to dry scalp, restore moisture to dry scalp, and then they shampooed it out. Now, we're gonna unpack that in a second. I was about to get. So, while it has long lasting roots in wellness, its purpose was not daily use, and it was not used as a hair growth serum in any way. It was a targeted therapy. A targeted therapy. This is not a everyday practice. It's not something you have to do every couple of days. This was something that you did as a therapy if you needed the therapy. Okay, you're not just going to get the same type of therapy that somebody breaks a limb. You're not doing the same type of workout therapy or the same type of therapy that they're doing because you don't have any broken limbs. You're going to go to the one designed for your body and your body type and the one that you're at. Let's keep going. I digress. What castor oil actually does. Now, this is what we need to get into because when we're talking about hair growth, right? When we're talking about hair growth, everybody's so pressed about, okay, castor oil, it grows your hair. Castor oil grows your hair out and it makes your hair so long and luscious and beautiful. But actually, everybody's hair grows. Everybody. Everybody's hair is growing on a regular basis, but not only is everybody's hair growing on a regular basis, most of the women who swear, think about this. Now, we do not have to be combative. We are a bunch of grown women. I would hope so. The women who use castor oil and swear by it are also women who have practices that cause intense bacterial infections. For example, women who leave their hair wet and let it air dry, you have an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria in the scalp that will slow down the hair growth process, right? And so many other things. There are so many other things that you guys do that cause bacteria to overpopulate in the scalp. And y'all know that. Don't make me sit here and unpack that, right? And I'm going to get to everybody's comments in a second. I just want to get through this and then we'll talk just strictly about the castor oil. Okay, so let's dive into what it actually does, right? And let's give it its flowers because let me say this as an herbalist, castor oil, not castor oil, but the plant itself is literally one of the most powerful plants that we have on this earth. One of the most powerful plants that we have on this earth. But when you see herbs and botanicals, you cannot just see that it comes from the ground, it's pretty, here are a couple of its properties, and not respect it holistically. Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about castor oil is not growing your hair. It's fighting against the things that you do that stop the hair growth process. So let's unpack it. It has antibacterial and antifungal properties. So it's not that it's growing your hair out, but you have caused an overflux and an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria in the many ways that we've talked about here on the channel. So it helps to clear up infections or scalp issues. That's why in Ayurvedic medicine, castor oil is used to treat scalp infections. So If you were to see a Indian woman using it, she is treating a scalp infection, and then she's going to leave it on for a very short amount of time, about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes tops, and then she's shampooing it off intensely at least 3 to 4 times, so we're not leaving anything in the hair. And we'll talk about why in a second. Next up is going to be its anti-inflammatory properties. It soothes itchy or inflamed scalp conditions. Again, the reason that all of your Team Natural girls love castor oil is because all of the Team Natural girls have scalp infections. All of you guys have scalp infections that have slowed down your hair growth process. So, yes, you love it because it helps to fight against the damage that you've done to your scalp. Next up is moisturizing. It seals in hydration and gives dry hair a richer, shinier feel. Did you hear me? Feel. Not it repairs the hair shaft, not it beefs up the hair shaft and makes it thicker. No, it makes it feel as if all of those holes have been filled because castor oil is naturally thick. And moisturizing, y'all get the hydration and moisture confused. Hydration and moisture are two completely different things. To moisturize something is to create a barrier. So castor oil is excellent at creating a barrier over the hair shaft. So if you had to use castor oil, I say all the time, you would use like a half a dime size amount, like maybe after you blow dry, or right before you put a sew in or something like that. Things like that. Because it is thick and it's going to create a barrier. It creates a feel, but it's not doing anything different to your hair. That's why all of the Team Natural people and all of the people who push oils and butters and greases, they all push co-washing conditioners, not in sulfate-free shampoos, not because the the shampoos and conditioners and things of that nature that contain sulfates were bad, but because if the sulfate is put in your head, it's going to strip off all those layers of products that you've bought from them, and it's going to show you the real integrity of your hair, which is crap. That's why whenever you go and use a real professional line of shampoo and conditioner, you like, it made my hair dry. No, it didn't make your hair dry. That's what your hair truly feels like without all of those layers and holes in it. But I digress. Next up is breakage prevention because it fills all of those holes. It's creating a thick barrier. So it helps to protect the ends and reduce snapping, right? So when you use it on the scalp as a treatment or a mask, it can create a healthier scalp environment, which indirectly supports hair growth. Now let's unpack that. The thing that y'all skip over when we're talking about castor oil and all of these other oils and butters, what y'all don't understand is these oils and butters are not growing your hair. They're making it easier for you to work in co-creation with your body because nothing goes on the scalp but shampoo. So if your scalp is overran with bacteria, some 100% organic castor oil on the scalp will wipe it out, even it out. You shampoo it out, and then you just don't let your scalp get overran with bacteria again. How about that? Because you should never be in a position where you have an inflamed scalp that has the imbalance of good and bad bacteria to the point where it's hurting. These are emergency treatments, not things that happen on a regular basis. Or maybe, let's say, after, I'm not recommending this, I'm just saying, like, some situations where it's not a horrific idea, right? Let's say you a person who left a weaving way too long, and you left a weaving way too long. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to shampoo my hair and then put a little bit of, give myself a scalp treatment with castor oil in it. That way I can kill off all of this excess bacteria and yeast that I've grown in my scalp because I haven't washed my hair in 6 months. So I'm gonna put this on my scalp real quick and then shampoo it out. But just like just putting it on every day, we're gonna get to what that does. But does that make sense before I keep going? Because that's the only time that it makes sense to use it. That's the only time that in ancient civilizations, like we like to constantly quote, like we're constantly, oh, in Jamaica, they, yes, but in Jamaica, they were using it for scalp treatments. It was a treatment for the scalp. They weren't just randomly greasing their scalp. And let me say this before we move on from Africa. One thing that annoys my soul whenever we are on social media and we're talking about black people and hair stuff, they let it be like in Africa is tribal. Do y'all know how many tribes they were? How many tribes there were in Africa? Hundreds, thousands, and all of them were not greasing and oiling the scalp. They were not. They were not. They were not. All of them were not putting castor oil on their hair. They were not. All of them were not using oils and butters and greases in their hair. They were not. Most of y'all have seen information from about 2 or 3 African tribes, and then y'all want to put that on all of Africa. Like every black woman walking the face of the earth has to put oil on her scalp, where it don't work like that. That's not what happened. All skin folk, not kinfolk. When you in Africa, you ain't sister just because you black. What are you talking about? It's tribe. They're tribal. It's like the Crips and the Bloods times 10. What are you talking about? And I'm not saying Crips and Bloods like they be like getting on each other, so that was a bad example. But just they're different things. Like some are vegetarian, some are vegan, some don't put oil in the scalp at all. Some for some the women are bald, but the men got real long hair. And then in some tribes the men are skin bald with long ponytails today. But like it's tribal. What are we talking about? That's the thing that annoys me. That's one of the reasons that I don't entertain a lot of black women that make comments on my page, because it doesn't make sense. Why are we constantly in Africa? Y'all don't know what they did in Africa. You don't know. The Sahara Desert is the size of the Sahara Desert can fit America and Australia in it. It's a fact. The Sahara Desert can fit America and Australia in it. Let's keep going. Thank you so much for the confirmation. I'm from Africa, and what you are saying is true. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So I just wanted to say that because that's one of the things that really annoys me the most about this whole team natural thing, because we're like isolating. Y'all read one book, one tribe, like just like Shea. Shea, every woman in Africa didn't use Shea. That's a tribe. There may be a couple of different tribes that do, but it's not everybody. So this is why it's important for you to learn the science of the herb, and then you decide what ritualistic practices you're going to follow doing something. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let's stop it. Let's stop that. It's annoying. Okay, let's keep going. So, castor oil is thick, like really thick, and its molecules are way too large to pass through the stratum corneum, and that is the skin's outermost layer. That means that it can't reach your hair follicles where the real hair growth begins. So, I just want to show y'all this really quick, even though I know we've already talked about this before. I don't care. We're going to talk about it again really quick because I want to give you a visual representation of what this looks like. I don't want to just talk to you. I want you to see what I'm saying. I need you to see it in your mind's eye. So like I just said, hold on, let me read it again. It is, hold on, I gotta go back to the screen. Castor oil is thick, like really thick, and the molecules are too large to pass through the stratum corneum, which is the top layer of the skin. So you can see right here where it says the stratum corneum. This is the top layer of skin. That's where y'all put all of the oil at. But look how far down the hair follicle is. Look at where the stratum corneum is. Give me a 5 in the chat when you see the stratum corneum, which is the top of your scalp, and then give me a 3 whenever you see where the base of your follicle is, because that's where in your mind y'all think y'all getting oil to when y'all put stuff on y'all scalp. That's where y'all think that is getting to. Is going from the top of the stratum corneum all the way to the bottom. When y'all like, it gets to your blood supply. That's where the blood supply is. Give me a 3 when you see it. I don't want to move on till I know at least one person sees it. Or five or three, whatever I said. Five or I said five. I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay. So you see that. So do you understand, right? Are you with me? You don't have to give me a number. I just need you to let me know in words. Do you see how crazy it is for you to say that you putting oil on your scalp is growing your hair out? I am not trying to put my own method my own theories on you, or no. I'm asking a question. Do you see how, once you know that it is a fact that the molecules on castor oil and all oils, we're going to unpack that too. Give me a second. Let me cook. If you know that those molecules are too big to pass through the first layer, which is the stratum corneum, and then you see where the base of the hair follicle is, where all of everything needs to get to, does that make sense to you? Or is that crazy? It's crazy to think, like, it's absolutely insane. It literally makes no sense. So if y'all come across videos with it, what are you mad at me for? This makes no sense. People telling you putting oil on the stratum corneum is going to get to the blood supply. Looking at this picture, forget what I have to say. Does that really make sense? No, it doesn't, because oils can't pass through the stratum corneum, which is this very top layer. So how exactly is you putting oil on your scalp and interjecting in your hair growth process in any way, shape, or form? Hmm. I don't know. It's not a rhetorical question. You tell me. You tell me. Does it don't make no sense? It don't make no sense. No matter how many different ways you unpack and try to put it in a bowl, it's dumb. It don't make no sense. Let's keep going. So, despite what you see on social media, castor oil is not stimulating your follicles or your flipping hair growth cycle. It's not. It is not flipping your hair growth cycle into growth mode in any way, shape, or form. It is simply cleaning the surface of the hair of the scalp. I can't talk. It's just simply cleaning the surface of your scalp. That is it. All it's doing is killing yeast and bacteria that you, team natural girlies, have caused to overgrow. Or if people are like, my grandma been using it for years, and then I'll say, has your grandma been greasing her scalp for years? Yeah, okay. So it's not that y'all practices are so great and a-okay. Y'all cause a bacterial infection and then use a product that kills yeast and bacteria, and then give that product credit for growing your hair, where in reality, all that product did was kill the yeast and bacteria that was stopping the hair from growing in the first place. I feel like I am in the upside down sometimes. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Like, I just don't. What the hell? Next up, what about essential oils though? Rosemary, peppermint, and tea tree oils are often mentioned in the same breath when we're talking about natural hair growth, right? And while they do offer scalp benefits, right, antimicrobial, cooling, and stimulating, they follow the same exact rule. They mostly only work on the surface of the hair's follicle. Now, when we're talking about essential oils, their molecules are a little smaller. So, if there are certain forms of yeast and bacteria that have overgrown, give me a two in the chat, or just say mites. If you remember when I showed y'all the Demodex mites, right? The Demodex mites that live in the scalp, sometimes they overgrow. They get overgrown. So, essential oils are small enough molecules to go into the to go through the stratum corneum to get inside of the follicle, but it's just killing bacteria, my baby. That's it. That's it. Even if trace amounts absorb into the skin, your body's metabolism is way too powerful. Your body metabolizes them too quickly for them to change your body's hormonal or follicle systems in a meaningful way. So even if you put essential oils on the scalp, is not powerful enough to change your human hair growth cycle that is regulated by your hormones. Oils and essential oils that you put on your scalp are not powerful enough to change your hormones. What are we talking about? These are the things that I want y'all to understand. They're all playing in y'all faces. Now, the girls who selling y'all butters and oils, they most likely don't know this information, but trust and believe the chemists, the professionals, they know exactly what they're doing. Y'all are just killing bacteria. And as the bacteria that is overgrown on your scalp dies, your hair growth cycle can reset itself, but it's not growing your hair out. It's a fact, baby, because hair growth happens from the inside out. There's nothing that happens with hair growth on the outer layer of your skin. Hair growth does not take place on the scalp. It doesn't. Hair growth is a biological process. Castor oil is not going to override that. It's just not. It's not powerful enough to override that. Is it powerful enough to kill yeast and bacteria on the scalp and in the gut? Absolutely. But nah, baby. Here's what actually controls your hair growth cycle. Your hormones like DHT, which is a major player in thinning, which that's why I'm so into herbs, because when we're talking about all of the different things that happen in the body, there are so many different herbs and botanicals that you can ingest that will reverse these things. But not putting it on your goddamn scalp. Next up is blood circulation to the follicles. That happens from the inside, my baby. Castor oil's nasty as hell, but if you take some, you gonna have to do them. You gonna have to. The girl's gonna be something terrible, but it'll help you with that blood circulation to them follicles. Yes, it will. Genetic. Oh, I can't get it out. Genetic signaling that tells the follicles when to grow, rest, or to shut down. That's what controls the hair growth cycle. Your hormones, your blood circulation, and the genetic signaling that you have when it tells the follicles to grow or shut down. Now, when we talk about genetics, that's where people get confused. And I wish scientists would really use a different word or a different way to explain it, because anytime you say the word genetic, people automatically think, like, oh, my mama was bald head, so I'm gonna be bald head. No, it's about patterns, like your habitual patterns that you follow in certain gene pools. For example, certain gene pools, y'all eat the same. For the most part, everybody eats the same. For the most part, everybody's the same weight. For the most part, you'll also notice everybody has the same type of illnesses. Everybody dies from the same diseases. Mostly everybody has the same type of balding, because the same things, you are what you eat. So everybody in this gene pool has become the same thing because this is how everybody eats. Versus another gene pool, they'll be the complete opposite, and they'll have hair down their back, beautiful skin. Their diet will be completely different. So that's what they mean by genetics. So it is actually sparking hair growth. To actually spark your hair growth, you need something that can either reach those systems to support them, or make sure that you change your patterns from within. But putting stuff on the scalp isn't going to do anything. So, what actually works for hair growth then? If you want to go beyond scalp maintenance and actually encourage new growth, here's where to look, baby. So, depending on what you're going through, right? There are so many different things that could be leading to your hair falling out. There could be so many different things, and you just simply putting oils in your scalp, literally all you're doing is, sometimes, depending on what oil, because girl, all oils do not kill bacteria. Okay, they don't. All oils do not kill bacteria. So most of the time, you're simply just killing bacteria for a second, rinsing it out. But there are deeper problems that girl oils and stuff is not going to fix. So some is minoxidil. Some people have minoxidil and Rogaine really, really, really good for them. It is FDA approved, and it penetrates and stimulates the follicle. So it's great. Microneedling is another one, and a couple of other things we'll talk about a little bit more over on the Send Out Network. The first video for the Send Out Network is going up next month. I've had a lot on my plate, so it's coming, right? But the bottom line is castor oil has its place, right? It is a really, really, really powerful, powerful additive in traditional medicine, and it is full of nutrients, and it has so many nourishing properties. But it is not a follicle stimulator. It's not. I don't care how many YouTube videos that you see. It is not a follicle stimulator. Castor oil does not grow hair. It does not cause hair growth. It does not penetrate the hair follicle and reset your hair growth cycle. It doesn't. It kills yeast and bacteria. So if you are a person who is claiming that castor oil grew out your hair, you are also voicing that you are a person who had an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria on your scalp that was limiting your hair growth, and the castor oil balanced out your scalp's microbiome so your hair could grow like normal. That's what happened. Whether you want to accept what's coming out of my mouth or not, that's what happened. But it's not a follicle stimulator. It doesn't grow hair. So that doesn't make sense. Those are the things that I need us to think about. Those are the things that I really, really need you to think about. Those are the things that I really need you to put in perspective, because for us to constantly make these decisions to just go back and forth and constantly argue with each other over the same stupid stuff makes no sense. And the reason that I make videos like this constantly is because it makes no sense for us to constantly go back and forth over these things that make absolutely no sense. You are absolutely right. Yes, they use castor oil in Jamaica. They use castor oil in Jamaica and all over the place. But it was to kill scalp infections. And one thing that people say, oh, this person used it for a long time and I've never seen them go bald. Well, I don't stand behind a chair anymore, but what I do do now is talk to women and consult women who have been using oils for 20, 30 years, and now they're skin bald and they have to reverse it. And then every single time when we sit down and we go back to the drawing board, it's your castor oil, it's your flaxseed oil, it's your hot six oil, it's your what's the other one? It's that coconut oil. If you like pina coladas, all of that. These are the things that y'all need to think about. Use it like it was originally intended, as a treatment, not daily care. It's not a daily cure, something to put on your scalp because you do something in reverse. And we'll talk about that in a second. Combining it with ingredients and strategies that will balance out your body's biology, and you'll see better and longer lasting results, right? So if you want a personalized growth plan with different blends and things of that nature, then you're gonna have to head over to my blog and we'll talk about it a little more there. Now, here is a breakdown of castor oil and all of its key constituents. All right. And now we are going to talk about what it actually does for the body, the scalp, and the hair, because this is really, 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 really great info for you to have and for you to have in your mental for you to be able to break down, right? So let's get into again these key benefits. I need you to have your pens and papers out so y'all can write all of this down for yourself, all right? Because it's more than just, thick and shiny. It's packed with active compounds that have real effects on the body. Here is the science behind what is inside of castor oil. And this is why it's so vividly and massively important for us to unpack these things. But let me stop and check on y'all real quick. Give me a 5 in the chat. If I know y'all okay, let me know. Let me know. Give me a two if y'all still okay before I keep going. And just understand that everything that I'm saying, I love y'all too. And just know that everything I'm saying in love, right? I'm not trying to be rude and nasty, but if you my sister, I don't want you embarrassing me. I don't want nobody that's riding with me embarrassing me while I'm outside. And y'all putting castor oil and stuff in y'all hair, like it make your hair grow. Y'all embarrassing me outside. I'm embarrassed outside. And I don't like to be embarrassed while I'm outside. I don't even like to be outside. So I definitely want to be embarrassed while I'm outside. And y'all embarrassing me while I'm outside. So instead of me complaining about being embarrassed while I'm outside, y'all asses just gonna pick up y'all notebooks, some papers, and some pencils, and we're gonna have this conversation, baby. Okay. Hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So don't think I'm trying to be stank or nasty because I'm not. All right. So number one, this first acid, this is the main powerhouse, and it's about 85 to 95% of the key constituent that's in there, right? So this one is great because it is a mono unsaturated omega 9 fatty acid. And these are the benefits. It is anti inflammatory, so it helps to soothe the scalp irritation and reduce redness or itchiness. It's antimicrobial, so it fights the bacteria and fungus that causes the scalp infection or dandruff in the first place. This next one, it may slightly boost blood flow with massage, helping nutrient delivery. And then next up is its pain reliever. Traditionally, it was used for arthritis and menstrual cramps. Okay. So again, I know for a fact they wasn't just squirting a whole bottle of oil on their stomach when they had cramps and then not showering and then getting up every morning and spraying the oil back on their stomach all while they got cramps until their period gone. You know they ain't do that. You know they did. So why you think you can put it on your scalp every day? Anyway, for hair, cleaning the scalp to create an ideal environment for hair growth. Again, not to grow hair. Our ancient ancestors were not putting castor oil on their hair to grow hair. They were putting it on there to balance their scalp's microbiome so their scalp had a healthy enough environment to grow hair. It is a fact. Let people stop playing in your face because all of this information can be researched. I'm not making none of this up. Number two is an essential omega 6 fatty acid. It maintains the scalp barrier, keeps skin from drying out and flaking. Number two, it supports moisture retention, helps seal in water in the scalp and the hair strand. And next up, it balances sebum, can help oily or acne prone scalps to regulate oil production. Not because it's going in the sebaceous gland. I need y'all to understand the holistic practice. Why? Because if you have an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria, that is going to throw off your sebum production. So by you killing all of the yeast and bacteria on the scalp, there's nothing to trigger the hormones to trigger the body to produce more sebum, which is in return creating the dandruff or the seborrheic dermatitis. So by cleansing the yeast and bacteria and the overgrowth of bacteria with castor oil on the scalp, you then decrease the dandruff, the seborrheic dermatitis, and all of the things. It's not because castor oil is doing these things, it is because your overgrowth of yeast and bacteria has caused your body to do other things. And this helps it to balance it out. Please let me know it makes sense. You don't have to give me a number because I'm not going to remember. Just say it makes sense if it makes sense. All right. for hair. It promotes softness and elasticity and prevents scalp buildup. When we're talking about preventing scalp buildup, again, that doesn't mean every single day, and it doesn't mean you need it. I know even the reason that I never wanted to make videos about oils and stuff is because when I make a video telling y'all about all of its benefits, you think that means, oh, well, it's gonna do this for my scalp. Let me go get it. Unless you have a scalp infection, you don't need it. Because if you use it without a scalp infection, you're gonna give yourself a scalp infection. Hmm. I really hope that makes sense. Next up, oleic acid. Say oleic acid in the chat if you remember the last conversation we had about oleic acid. But have you noticed that all of the women who use castor oil, they also have really dry scalp and dandruff? They're the same women that are in the chat that are like, if I don't use castor oil, I have a dry scalp. So what do I use? You have a dry scalp because you use castor oil. It has oleic acid. It's 3 to 5% oleic acid. Which does penetrate the top layer of the skin slightly, slightly, not really, but a little bit. Mind you, all of the other properties balance, they knock out the ability for it to penetrate the skin. So in reality, it only penetrates it enough to open it up to cause more bacterial infections to grow. Girl, that's a whole nother story. Plus softening, and it helps to condition both the scalp and the hair, right? Temporarily putting a barrier on top of it because of its consistency, right? And it supports absorption of other ingredients. As an example, it being a carrier. That's what I mean by that. It being a carrier, nothing else. So that's something that I really, really need you to get into. This next one is 1 to 2%, and this is a saturated fatty acid, which protects. When I say cleansing properties, I'm talking about all of the antimicrobial and antibacterial properties. This is why it's so important to learn the full nuance of something and not just, oh, it has moisturizing properties. How? Why? Where? In what? You need to ask all of those questions and be able to answer it. Next up is a common saturated fat found in skin, and this is found within it as well as one of the key constituents that softens and smooths conditions and protects the scalp's barrier. When something says it protects the scalp's barrier, all it's saying is that it puts a layer on top of it. And when we're talking about, oh, our ancestors greased the scalp, girl, they was in Africa in the freaking, I mean, not in Africa, Lord, like whenever our ancestors was greasing their scalp in the Americas, not all of them in the Americas, but the ones that y'all talking about in slavery that was greasing their scalp, they were in the sun. That's where it comes from. They were sitting under the direct sun all day, picking or doing whatever they were doing in the fields, and they had their hair braided. So they put oil on their scalp to protect it from the sun. And then they had extremely powerful shampoos. And then our grandma was doing it too, but they had strong ass shampoos like VO5. VO5 not a good shampoo, but if you oil and grease in the scalp, oh, it'll get all that shit out. It will. That's why they were using it, not because it's a good product. Those are the things that you have to understand. And next up, lastly, is vitamin E, right? This is a natural antioxidant compound present in very, very small amounts. It fights free radicals and protects the skin and the follicles from oxidative stress, supports healing, encouraging the skin barrier to reduce the inflammation and the moisturizing and strengthening properties that it has, often used to help with certain split ends and things of that nature. Does it heal split ends? No, but it's so thick and creamy, and the consistency of it gives you you the illusion that your split ends are somehow fixed. And that's why y'all are like, I don't like this shampoo. It stripped my hair. Girl, no, it didn't. It did not strip your hair, baby. Your hair was already stripped. Your hair was already damaged and dry. And all these layers you've been putting on top of your scalp has gave you the illusion that your hair is a lot healthier than it really is. Girl, bye. And now that you have put on, now that you've completely stripped all of that product out of your hair, what you feel right? Oh, it made my hair feel dry. No, it didn't. All the shampoo did was remove what didn't belong. If it wasn't hair, the shampoo gonna make sure it ain't there. Huh? So if your hair feels dusty, now that you done washed all those layers of products on, that's the dust that your hair really is. Live in the dust, sweep the dust up, fixed it, but it's dusty. Hmm? Together, all those key constituents make castor oil for healing the scalp, moisturizing the skin, protecting the hair strand, but it's not a follicle stimulator. So as we unpack all of those great things that it has, it does nothing to stimulate the hair follicle. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing, buddy. Nothing. Nothing, buddy. Nothing. Nothing, buddy. Hmm? Do you hear it? Nothing. Hmm? Okay. So, overusing castor oil. What are you actually doing when you're overusing castor oil? Actually, what you're doing is really, really, really killing off your scalp's defense system. So let's talk about that. And before we move on to that, I want to just check in the chat real quick. I'm gonna come back and get to all of y'all comments, but before I move on, just give me a I'm okay, Sydney, if you good. Are you good? Should I keep going? Am I talking too fast? What's going on while stuff be going on? I just want to keep going. If y'all confused, baby. Okay, okay. You okay? You okay? Okay. Don't get mad at me, but this is why I asked this question. Because this is why I don't really want to make these videos. The reason why I don't want to make YouTube videos about oils and butters and greases and stuff is because I feel like, and I'm not trying to be rude, I feel like nobody's really listening to me. Nobody's really listening to the core of what I'm saying. My dad used to always get on me like Latrice, he would call me by my middle name, like Latrice, be quiet because you're not listening to comprehend, you're listening to respond. My dad used to tell me I wasn't listening to hear him and to comprehend what he was saying. I was listening for certain peaks and points and nuggets so that I can make my own train of thought make sense. So I can make my own argument or debate make sense. No, this is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's okay for you to use castor oil. What I'm saying is the only time that you should use castor oil is if you have an intense bacterial infection. Your scalp is itching and burning and blowing up, and you feel like something is trying to crawl out of your scalp. Castor oil is the last resort before you go see your dermatologist. Because all it is created for is to kill yeast and bacteria. So no, I'm not saying that yes, I can use it as long as I shampoo it out. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's not. I love y'all so much. But this is one of the main reasons why I don't want to talk about oils and butters. It's one of the main reasons why after we get done, I'm not going to go through everybody's questions like I normally do. I'm just gonna pick out certain questions and then we're gonna end and I'm gonna go because I'm literally I'm only talking to a certain group of people. I'm only talking to a certain group of people. I am not saying, let me be very clear. No, I'm not saying that oil can go in your hair. Let me be very clear. I think you are wasting your money. If you put oil in your hair, I actually think that you're slapping God in the face when you grease your scalp. If we want to be real, and then after I say this, I'm gonna keep moving, and I'm only gonna answer certain questions that make me feel good. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just, to me, if you oil and grease your scalp, by you oiling and greasing your scalp, you're telling God that they're incompetent. You're saying, God, you didn't know what you was doing. You didn't give me enough, so I'm gonna put in more. Because your scalp literally has a gland in it that is for no other purpose but creating uh but producing oil. It has no other purpose. No other purpose. So by you greasing your scalp, you're saying, God, this wasn't enough. What you gave me, this sebaceous gland you gave me, it wasn't enough. Because what you're looking at right now is a healthy hair follicle, right? This is a healthy hair follicle. This is a hair follicle that nobody's putting oil or grease on the sternum corneum. So all of the yeast, everything that needs to come out of the body can come out. Just like everybody blocking their pores, like, oh, stop and sweat. Everything every hole that you got on your body is meant to be the hole for a reason. You gonna put a butt plug in for the rest of your life after you eat some chicken? No, you're not. You gonna make sure it's able to free and go like so. The sebaceous gland is right there. Oil is coming up automatically. The oil on your scalp serves absolutely no purpose. And you know what this infected follicle is? This infected follicle comes because the stratum corneum is covered with yeast, oils, butters, grease, and bacteria. So all of the yeast that wants to come out, all of the dead hair cells that want to come out of the follicle, all of the bacteria, the Demodex mite, everything that wants to come out of the follicle, it can't come out. Why? Because you still want to put oil on your scalp. You don't have a reason. You don't have a bacterial infection. You just want to put the oil on your scalp. On the healthy hair follicle, no, it is dumb. It is idiotic. It makes no sense to put oil on your scalp on a healthy hair follicle. This infected hair follicle, if it looks like this, if it's burning, if it's red, if it's inflammation, right before you go to the dermatologist, your last resort can be giving yourself a treatment with castor oil on the scalp to kill the overgrowth of yeast and bacteria. Other than that, no, that's not what I'm saying. So I know that that probably seemed like I went far off in left field, but I did not, because when this is over, when I wake up in the morning and I go back and read the comments, I'm gonna have so many women that are like, so I can use it right every day as long as I shampoo it out. I can use it every wash day. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not. It's not. I haven't said that one time since we've been talking. Not one time. Every time that I talk about using it, I said to treat a scalp infection. And anytime I say oils and butters and greases, I say nothing goes on the scalp unless you treat an infection. I've been saying that for years. I'm about to keep going. Sorry, hit a trigger, nail in the road. You look so good in my sweater. I'm about to, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. Hold on. I just want to hear it really quick, and then we're gonna be okay. Where is it? Oh no, that's not it. Hold on.
You look so good in my
Oh.
sweater. Winter is my favorite weather, cause it brings you close.
Okay, I'm okay now. So y'all, can we not? I love you, and I'm okay. So let's talk about using castor oil too often, especially on the scalp. It can do way more harm than good in the long run, and here's why. Your scalp has a microbiome, just like your gut, right? So just like your gut has all of the things, and how if your gut is imbalanced, your skin is gonna be messed up, your nails gonna be messed up. Same thing. Hair, skin, and nails are created within your gut. And again, your gut has a microbiome, and so does your scalp, right? So when everything is balanced, everything's good, right? And your scalp is a living environment filled with good and bad bacteria, fungi, and protective oils that come out of your body naturally. You don't need all of these extra oils, butters, and greases and all of this. You simply do not. It literally makes no sense. You're wasting all of the time. All of the time, right? So when we are unpacking things like this, it is really, really important because it's you have to keep everything balanced because that is how your scalp stays calm and clear to fight off different infections naturally. And it supports steady and healthy hair growth. Why? Because there's going to be nothing throwing that natural hair growth cycle off. So what happens when you overuse antimicrobial oils like castor oil? Castor oil is an antimicrobial oil, which is great until you overdo it, like most of y'all are doing. Like, let's be honest. And I know some people may not want to be honest. So the people who have changed their lives and they're not oiling and greasing their hair like a chicken no more. Like, how often were you doing it? Like every day, every other day, every couple of days. Well, it's not a good thing. What happens when you leave it on for too long? Well, it actually strips away beneficial bacteria that protects the scalp because you are literally, I say all the time, we are legions. You have legions, hundreds of thousands different living organisms within your body, and they all have a purpose. Every last one of them has their own purpose, right? So if you put something like castor oil on the scalp every single day and you just let it sit there, you don't shampoo it off, and you got to weave in or braids or crochet braids in your hair. A lot of women um get a whole lot of breakage whenever they have crochet braids in. And the first thing you want to blame are the crochet braids and the crochet hair, where in reality, you are a woman that's constantly greasing and oiling the scalp. So by you killing off the good and bad bacteria, there's no balance. There's no balance. And if you don't have a balance of good and bad bacteria, your hair slowly thins out and falls out. It dries out the skin barrier, making it more vulnerable to bacterial infections. And it also triggers an overgrowth of bad microbes like Malassezia yeast, the fungus tied to dandruff and thinning. That's why all of the girls who are constantly using the oil, everybody has dandruff. Anytime I tell y'all to stop using an oil or a butter or a grease on the scalp, the first response I get from people is, well, what am I supposed to do because my scalp is so dry? I have dandruff. Baby, you have dandruff because you're using a product that is high in oleic acid. Almost all of the oils that y'all swear by are high in oleic acid. Oleic acid, peep game. Listen to the irony, right? So you've used the castor oil to fix the dandruff, right? And the dandruff that you have is being caused from that Malassezia yeast. Whenever it eats the sebum that's on your scalp, the oils that you put on, when it doodles out oleic acid. So that castor oil has antimicrobial properties, right? But not only does it have these antimicrobial properties, my baby, it also has oleic acid. So if you overuse the product, you're going to pack your scalp full of oleic acid. Y'all, like these are things that if we don't sit down and really, really take the time to unpack, if we don't really, really sit down and take the time to like really look at things for what they are, and we're not always trying to argue and go back and forth, all of these things are very, very easy to unpack. All of these things are very, very, very easy to understand. But if you are always offended, right? If you're always offended by something, somebody like me has to say, then you're never ever going to get ahead. It's just simply always going to be a problem. And by that, you won't get anywhere because your facts have nothing to do with your feelings. Absolutely nothing to do with your feelings. Nothing to do with your feelings. So let me get a couple of people saying facts and feelings. Facts don't equal feelings for me real quick in the chat. Let me get you to write that in the chat for me real quick, and then we are going to keep going. I just had to the page 'cause it was like pausing on me. Let's see if everybody's okay. Bye bye. Okay. Facts don't equal feelings. Listen, baby. Okay, so let's go back to I don't even know where I was. Oh, Scott microbiome. Okay, here we are. I just got done watching a good doctor. Y'all gonna see this when I got done. Like I finished it because I didn't finish like the whole series yet. I love him. Anyway, uh, yeah. And then so this is where I was. So you're thinking that you're cleaning the scalp, but what's actually happening is you're creating an imbalance. So it sounds like, oh, putting oils and butters on your scalp is just all the things and it's also great, but it's really not. Like your body can do that on its own. It doesn't need any of these extra things that you're trying to do. So the long-term effects of chronic inflammation or chronic inflammation and thinning. When your scalp is constantly stripped and irritated, these things are always following. Inflammation becomes chronic. Like no matter what you do, you always have intense burning and itching. The hair follicles shrink. It's a process called miniaturization, which I have been talking about for so many years at this point. I remember the first video that I made about skin miniaturization. There was like a 2 hour long lecture somebody made about me saying that I had made it up. And I remember, one of my dermatologist friends was like, "Oh my gosh, Sandra, it's crazy that you deal with that. Like, they can just look it up. Why are they that way?" Like, but yeah. Hair follicle shrink, hair follicle miniaturization. What y'all don't understand is the more oil y'all put on y'all scalp, the smaller the hair follicle gets. And if y'all think that this is something that happens instantly, it could take years. I'm talking years for your follicles to shrink. Your follicles can start shrinking when you 15, 16, and it won't even manifest till you hit your 40s. Mm. Next up is the growth cycle. The hair growth cycle shortens. You're supposed to go through the allergen phase, which is the phase where inside of your gut, your body is producing new hair growth cells that are making their way up. That's the anagen phase where you're growing new hair. The canogen phase, the hair shaft detaches itself from the blood supply and then it goes into a resting stage, then it falls out and it repeats the hair growth cycle all over again. And the average hair growth cycle is about 7 years, but studies have shown that women and men of Asian descent have hair growth cycles for as long as 10 years, right? So yeah, this process happens slowly. So this is most likely why you may not notice it in your 20s at all. Right? In your 20s, you think you know everything. And to me, that's one of some of the main issues that people have. And I don't care who feels a way about anything. I don't care. I'm not here for you. But when one of us is in trouble, we protect each other. So that's what I'm doing right now, where I'm protecting you. So most of the girls who talking real loud are in their 20s, right? And so you think you know everything because when you in your 20s, you don't really notice anything, right? But then once you get to your 30s and your 40s, then you start noticing some slight changes in your hair, in the way that it feels, in the density and all of the things. And by your 50s to 70s, you are dealing with visible balding and receding. And most people have no idea that it started with the imbalance of the scalp that they caused themselves years ago. years ago. That is why I'm constantly making these videos telling y'all to stop doing stuff because y'all don't even know how bad y'all damaging y'all scalp. Imagine being a person that spends all of their time sitting in a lab or being a person who spends all of their time doing scientific research for women who have gotten to these places for this and then getting online and having women arguing with you knowing that they're gonna be some of the same women coming to book either me or somebody who does what I do. It's really sad. So, but whatever, I'm not gonna cry about it. If you don't care, you want to be bald head, you can be bald head. Protect the scalp from microbiome and do not over cleanse. This is how to avoid the long term damage. You are using castor oil as a treatment, not a daily leave-in conditioner. Girl, ain't no goddamn leave-in treatment. Mhm. You're only using when you say that something is a treatment, you're treating something, right? So if there's nothing to treat, what are you using a treatment for? If there is not an overgrowth of bacteria and you use something that is meant to kill bacteria, you're going to wipe out all of the bacteria that you need because not all bad bacteria is bad for you. Oh, I really hope that is making sense. We make it so hard for ourselves. You don't leave it on the scalp longer than 30 to 60 minutes unless balanced with other oils. I don't recommend you to leave it on that long or to mix it with anything else. When we're talking about leaving it on longer unless balanced with other products, that's for example, if you're getting something from a dermatologist. A dermatologist uses oil as a carrier, and baby, whatever their additive is 10 times more powerful than whatever goddamn essential oils you didn't mix up and tried to put in there in your kitchen. Okay, it's not the same thing. Next up is shampoo it out completely. Next up is rotate with microbiome safe ingredients. Now, when we're talking about all of these things like aloe, fermented rice water, or prebiotics, these are from the inside. Do you hear me? The inside. You're not putting it on your scalp. And when we're talking about fermented rice water, I'm not talking about the fermented rice water they y'all. There is stuff that is made by people. You ain't gonna fall out. You ain't gonna pass out. Your stomach ain't gonna fall off. You ain't gonna have bubble guts. Okay. I'm not talking about rice water that you making in your house. I'm not talking about aloe that you eat, that you peeling from the grocery store and putting in your hair. I'm not talking about that. You know that aloe juice y'all want to put in your hair. You're supposed to drink it. You're supposed to drink it. That's why it's with the rest of the medications. If the aloe juice was meant to go in your hair, the aloe juice would be by the shampoo, but it's not. Okay. Okay. Avoid coming with strong essential oils. Avoid combining, I'm sorry, with strong essential oils too often. So the bottom line is it's overhyped. That's it. I'm sorry if it makes you feel away, but just like with skincare, less is always more. And the goal is not to kill everything on your scalp, it's to support the good and control the bad and let your follicles thrive long term. You're supposed to be in co-creation, balancing. It's a balancing act. That's it. All right. So if you want to know a little bit more, or if you want to figure out what's hurting your hair growth goals, then make sure you comment when this video is over and in the chat, scalp reset. Scalp reset. And then I'll send you the group link and we can have a deeper conversation over there. But I love y'all so much, but I know y'all probably all know at this point that I do the best that I can on providing you the information, but the how to's, I don't always just go deep into that. I've been doing that for quite a long time. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that because I saw a couple of comments that was like somebody was like, "Oh, well, what do I do?" And they have this long thread where all of them were like, "Oh, well, everything that she does and all of the videos that she makes, she always do just so you can join her 7-day challenge. So I'm not gonna tell you to do that, but I mean, if you whenever I make videos like this, people always want to flow by flow, step by step, and I'm not doing that because it's already spelled out for you in the blueprint and in the 7-day challenge. So if you need help, that's where we'll take it. But we are going to talk now in the comments a little bit. I'm just gonna go over things. Don't get upset with me if I don't ask you a question. Oh, I wish I had my bell over here. So ring a ling ling. Just imagine that I just ring a ling ling. Thank you. I understand about nothing on the scalp, but is oil sheen bad on the hair? Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I need you to do me a favor and look. Oil sheen is literally just mineral oil that you can spray. It's just mineral oil. So yes, you don't need it. Oil sheen, leave oil sheen back in the back where it was. You don't need it. Like I just challenge all of y'all to reset y'all scalp and see how easily sebum flows out of your scalp. If I have any gurus in here tonight, there are any gurus in here tonight, please let them know that your sebum is flowing so much that you went from shampooing your hair maybe once every couple of months to now you struggle to get through a week without shampooing your hair because you have so much sebum. Like I really need y'all to get into that. Ooh, scalp reset. Okay. So I'll make sure you guys have the link. Well, it should already be in there, but I'll put the link in the description box whenever this video is over. So make sure when this video is over, you go in the comments, not even just here, but make sure you go in the comments when this video is over and put scalp reset here. Thank you. My hair thrives. Listen, baby, like, what are we talking about? Sebum flows out easily. Just make sure I'm not missing nobody else's chat. Going all the way. So, all right. Um how do y'all feel about what I said about black women trying to make everything like, oh, in Africa, like it was tribal. It was not just all, oh, we're all doing the same thing. We're black, so we all put oil in our hair. And it was just this, like, what is going on? Okay, here we go. Ever since I stopped using oils and butters on my scalp, my hair has gotten so long and healthy. Listen, baby, like, can we stop playing with it? At this, I remember when I first started saying this, I had way more people like, "You're a liar. You're a liar. You're going to hell. The Lord wants us to be drenched in oil and holy oil." But now things are the exact opposite. I can't believe how many people get scammed into believing oil grows their hair faster. It has no effect on your hair growth cycle in any way, shape, or form. It is literally like one of the biggest scams out. And the funniest thing about it is the scammers do no work to get y'all to believe it. Y'all fight. Y'all fight the people who trying to protect you from the scammers in defense of the scammer. It's crazy. It's like trying to fight people who trying to rescue you for rescuing you. Like, and you on the side of the person that they rescuing you from. Girl, y'all crazy, girl. Ooh, y'all crazy, girl. You sound like mama. We get in the store, don't act no fool when we get in a whooping when we get home. That's how I feel, like, cause y'all be embarrassing me when we outside. Embarrassing me when we outside. I feel embarrassed. I be so embarrassed outside. Thank y'all, and thank y'all for participating. And I put these things on the screen because when you type it in here with me, and this is for people watching it on replay too, when you type it in the chat, it's not just for me and the algorithm girl, even though it help, I'm not even gonna play with you, baby. But once you type it out that first time, when you see it again, those words are going to pop up for you. Those different words are going to pop up for you on a regular basis. They're going to pop up. I'm trying to tell you when I first started washing my hair regularly, I was like, damn, it's looking so dusty. But once I started shampooing it regularly and brushing it daily, my hair, girl, your hair looks black. Girl, I am, look, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I could literally talk about the human body as it pertains to the human scalp, the human hair shaft, hair growth for another 50 years and never get bored and still have 50 million things to say because it's so layered. Like a lot of y'all think y'all hair is thinning out. Y'all hair isn't even thinning out. You're just losing some of the melanin in your hair. You're losing some of the oxygen flow because when you're not getting any oxygen flow because you're layering too much on the hair. And y'all, everybody thinks that y'all expect instant gratification. No, that first day that you detox, girl, you just detox. Your hair like, what the hell is going on? So it has to get used to breathing on its own again. It has to get used to moving on its own again. But baby, once you do that, everybody tell you nothing. I love you guys. High porosity hair here. And I need truth, not from damage. Mhm. I need the hair plan now. I used to just shoot out the plan here now. Now my plan and my method of attack is in the 7-day hair growth challenge or the growth cycle blueprint. And I have a video in the description box below to tell you the difference between the two. I appreciate you telling us the truth about castor oil. It's the same thing. Y'all, please never start asking me about oil. It's the same thing. Every oil is the same. Every oil is the same. They're all the same. None of them can penetrate. None of them, nothing, nobody but nobody penetrates the stratum corneum. Nobody. Every oil is the same. I feel the same way about every oil. Or actually, castor oil is probably the only oil that y'all gonna hear me say this many good things about. Castor oil is probably the one oil that you're gonna hear me say good things about. Every like, and I still only think you should use it if you have a bacterial infection. You'll be like, I use it every 3 months. Do you have a bacterial infection every 3 months? No. Well, what the hell are you using it for every 3 months? Why? Mm, mm. Why you do it? I'm about to order the bone tea. This is amazing. I have like the best blend ever coming to the apothecary next week. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this one for so long. Girl, anytime I feel like my hair is dry, I was putting something on it, and castor oil was one of my first choices. My body literally started rejecting coconut oil. Anywhere it would touch my skin, it would just start itching. Girl, 'cause it ain't supposed to be on her. It ain't supposed to be on her. It's crazy how my head will have so much oil in it, but my hair will still look dull and just like natural sheen. You could tell something was in it. That's what I'm saying. The natural sheen, and I know whenever I make a video of my hair, like doing my hair. People like, what do you put in your hair to make it shiny? I put it on my daddy's ashes. Nothing, my guy. There's nothing in my hair but shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, and then as I'm flat ironing my hair, I spray heat protectant. That is it. I barely use serum on my hair because I have such high sebum production that my hair, I'm low key washing my hair, shampooing my hair like every 3 days. And I'm really not on the camera right now because I have a fro right now, and it's actually really cute. It's actually really cute. I'm gonna take a picture or a little video after I get done filming, so y'all can see it or whatever in another video. But I just I just need y'all to understand that. All right, you don't need to put all of this stuff in your hair. And when you first undo all of the stuff that you've been doing to your hair, it's not just gonna be perfect that first day. It's just not. Uh, that's a question that that's one of the first things that I do in the 7-day hair growth challenge. So that's not something that I can answer here because if I answer that, then I'm going to have to tell you what I teach in my course. So yeah, pillowcases and yep, that's how it is. And I think that's one of the main things too that is crazy to me when people be like, "Oh, I don't put it on my scalp. I just put it on my hair." But when you get up in the morning, don't your pillow have a little oil on it? Don't your pillowcases be a little oily? So if you lay down and the oil got on your pillowcase, why do you think it didn't also get on your scalp? Mhm. Because the thing that push the hair down to have the oil absorb into the pillowcase was your head, and your scalp is on your head. So the oil, if the oil got on the pillow, it's on your scalp too. Mhm. Same as the good and bad bacteria. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I think I'm not a guru, but my scalp is happy using science. I had to switch. Listen, girl, you had to switch it up to twice a this is the thing. That's why I get so annoyed when people are like, that's not for us. Black women, we need oil. Yeah, black women who don't follow the science of the human body need oil on the scalp. But the second you start following the science, you go from I'm only washing my hair once a month to you don't have an option. Queen can tell you that even if she wants to be like, you know what, I'm not washing my hair this week. Her hair be like, yeah, okay. Your scalp will force you to. You don't have a choice. The doctor have me on good. That means they're trying to kill an infection. Most likely you had a biopsy, skin biopsy, scalp biopsy, and they looked at something, saw a bacteria, and that's what they have to kill the bacteria. What should we use to keep our scalp hydrated? You, you don't need anything to keep your scalp hydrated. Sebum comes out. So nothing, nothing. You need to keep your scalp clean and clear so the natural sebum can flow out. But nothing. So this is what the human hair follicle looks like. You see where it says sebaceous gland? Give me a 5 in the chat when you see the term sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland is what produces all of the oil in your scalp. So as long as you don't put oils, greases, and butters on your scalp, and as long as nothing is happening inside of your body that is preventing your body from producing sebum, nothing. I literally have no answer to this question because my hair is overly hydrated. It's oily as hell most of the time. Like I don't. There's never a time where I need any extra hydrator. I never need to hydrate my hair. My daughter never needs to hydrate her hair. My mother never needs to. My son, nobody ever needs to hydrate their hair because that's what sebum's for. And when the sebum's naturally coming out, that's the man. So you need to figure out why sebum's not coming out of your scalp and fix it, and then you'll be good. I'm so glad that you're here. I remember Oprah had a lady on her show who stated not to put oils on the scalp. I always remember that and didn't put any oils on my scalp, but I made the mistake of putting it on the body of my hair. Yep. And that's the thing too. People have been telling y'all this forever, but after so many of y'all attack the people who tell y'all, people just be like, okay, forget you. Like, I don't give a shit. So, sister, how you doing, girl? What your fan is, girl? How you doing, girl? What your fan is, girl? Miss Girl. I don't have oily scalp, but I found washing regularly has definitely helped minimize dandruff and shedding. So for me, it's the routine of letting water run in my hair, washing, conditioner, blow dry, flat iron. Yeah, it's like keep it. It's so simple. It's so simple. Like oh my god, I did a scalp massage last night. Baby, when I tell you my hair is oily as fuck. And I'm gonna tell you something, like, you have to be so careful of what you ask for because even for me, like, you be, "Oh, I want the oil to flow," and then you like, "God damn it, my hair was so cute 2 days ago." But by the 3rd day, if it's a white lady on here, I'm not being like that. I'm just saying, like, I be my scalp be looking like somebody that sprayed me down with a water bottle full of oil. Like I just been slipping, sliding in castor oil like y'all. What about glycerin? No, glycerin don't go in your like. Oh, y'all killing me today. We about to head out. I think I said all I needed to say. We about to head out. You use glycerin. I use glycerin as an herbalist to pull out all of the key constituents of a herb. So let me ask you this question, and you can answer this question for yourself. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. You know how I make a video telling you, oh, this herb has this key constituent, and I name about 10 key constituents, right? Glycerin, you mix a certain percentage of glycerin and water with a certain type of with herbs, and the glycerin pulls out the key constituents. So let me ask you a question. You know how hard and how hard some ginger root is that's dried all the way like a big old thing of ginger root. If you hit it on glass, you gonna hear a right. Well, not like that. Those are my nails. You would hear one of those. But if you chop up that dried ginger root and put it in some glycerin, a certain percentage of it, you can pull out some of those key constituents. So what do you think glycerin is gonna do to your hair? Because some of the most of these herbs, like the hard ones, the ones that are like valerian root, valerian root is definitely stronger than the fiber that your hair is. So if valerian root will pull if glycerin can pull out all of the key constituents of valerian root, what do you think is gonna pull out of your hair? Glycerin don't go in your hair. I know some of the YouTube girls told you that it do it lock in moisture. How is something that pulls girl, I love no, don't put no glycerin in your hair. Shampoo doesn't wash away sebum. Drink some water. Yeah, I shampooed last I mean technically it was this morning, but I'm gonna call it last night. And then when we get off of here, I'm getting in the shower, and rinsing this conditioner, not conditioner, or leave-in conditioner out, and then I blow dry my hair. straightening my hair. I shampoo, condition, and put leave-in conditioner and burn my hair up, and my hair is growing like crazy. I know it is, baby. You ain't doing all that extra stuff to it by the fourth day. Yeah. What are we talking about? So why are we saying that our scalps don't produce oil? So if I'm lying, everybody here is lying too. Steam flat irons and nope. I can't stand no steam flat irons. I, I don't like steam flat irons, but girl, do your thing, girl. Do your thing, 21, do your thing. I shampooed yesterday. Girl, how to test the porosity of your hair. Um, I'll go to if you go to the home page of my website, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Um, when you just keep scrolling on the home page of my website, it's not far to scroll down. It's gonna be a button that says free porosity test. So click that button and it's gonna ask you for your first name, first and last name and your email address. And then once you click confirm, don't leave the page right after you click the confirm button. It's gonna be like a little link under it's either like green, blue, or purple. I don't know. I don't download it for myself. So it's either green, it's either like green writing, blue writing, or purple writing. And then you click that and then you automatically going to have the ebook on whatever device you have. Wait, can I use a steam platter? I mean, if you want to, I don't recommend it. If you want to, I just don't. I don't, because you know how I'm saying it, because y'all know how people get whenever I get my opinion. They be like, you know, no, she don't know flat iron. She don't know about flat iron. She ain't never seen no flat iron before. She don't know about flat iron. So I don't even want to do all that. So this is what we're going to do. I know some people do have a lot of questions like, what exactly do you do? What exactly do you do? So I don't give exactamundos here on my channel anymore. But there are people who have just binge watched all of my videos and got the things that they need. So it's up to you. I let you guys know I have over 1,000 videos here on my channel. You join the 7-day challenge, one cycle blueprint. I have ebooks that you can get, and then we have herbs, teas, and tinctures. Herbs and teas are the same thing. We have herbs and tinctures. So, but I mean, yeah, if you want to use a steak pattern, you can, but it just don't like. Why would I? It's just not. I don't want to start. Mm-mm. 4th day, 5th day. Girly, listen, I part of me is like, I think Imma wash this again because I think Imma shampoo again, even though I just shampooed last night and I'm just rinsing leave-in out to wet my hair again and blow dry, but I think Imma shampoo it again because I think it's a bunch of oil that done came out of here, okay? So I love y'all. Before I head out, does anybody else have any questions concerning castor oil? Or yeah, anything concerning what we were talking about on today? Yes or no? Yes or no? Oh my God, I could not get the word out this whole time. I couldn't get that's why I just been like, oh, just leave it in my hair. Because I shampooed my hair, I shampooed it, conditioned it, and then I used to learn for my leave-in, but it's like a mix as the leave-in, but it's also like a conditioning treatment at the same time. And then I'm gonna rinse that out and then I'm gonna put some on my hair. But I could not get the freaking the word out. The alarm. I could not get it out. Thank you, sister. Oh my God. I have not seen my phone all day. Gotta check it. super sticker. Thank you so much for fingerling my bell. I don't I don't got my bill, so I might just say ring-a-ling-ling. That's all I got. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, as a matter of fact, yesterday, that would be the 5th day of wash cycle. So today is reset day. Tomorrow, so ooh, I know a guru member when I'm talking to one and listen. Ring-a-ling, my It's so funny. I always stop a little bit while I'm singing it and turn around like my daddy gonna turn around because I remember I sung it one time when I was little. I didn't know what she was talking about, and my dad was like, "You don't, you ain't having nobody ring your bell. Turn that off." Boo, that boo, boo, shit, I did why. That's why. Okay, I love y'all. So make sure when we get out of here, make sure you guys all head over to the description box so y'all can get your hands on the blog post that I read over today because I want you to have these notes for yourself, right? They are the link to my blog is in the pinned comment. So you can go over there and read whatever you like. And I do need y'all to vote really, really quick because it's only 7 o'clock. I got a little secret for you all. So I'm a workaholic, but in a good way. It makes me happy. Right. I be feeling like a bum when I'm not doing nothing. So right, like I said earlier, it's like cancer season for me, right? And so I am in like my uh isolation stage right now. But in that sense, right, we are still really, really getting to the bottom of a whole lot of things. And I have so many videos that I have filmed for you guys because that's what happens whenever I get in this mode. I can just like film a crap load of videos at one time. So I need y'all to vote really quick, right? So I'm not gonna put numbers up because I'm gonna forget. Y'all know I'm gonna forget, so I'm not even gonna play with it like that. We're not gonna put numbers up. What I'm going to do today, you just tell me what you want to see first. So first video is going to be more so focusing on coloring gray hair and menopause. So that's number one. Gray hair and menopause. You don't gotta say the numbers because I'm gonna forget. So just say what I think. All right. So the first one is gray hair and menopause. And in that video, it'll be like, excuse me, voice over one of my older videos, but it's one that's pretty really, really good quality. And I don't think you guys have seen this one because all of the videos that I'm gonna tell you about today, I mean that y'all about to vote on right now, these are all that have really, really low view counts from back in the day, right? So the majority of y'all, I'm pretty sure, have not seen these videos, right? So we have gray hair and menopause, and then after that one, we have just hair color on really, really thick hair color on really, really thick hair, and then another one is sew-in on a sewing on pretty long hair, right? But then that one's gonna be focused on like traction alopecia. And then the very last one is gonna be focused around porosity and uh the hair shaft breaking down. It looks like gray hair and menopause is winning though. Hold on. Thank you so much for your knowledge. No problem. Yeah, girl, don't just girl, save your money. Get a regular flat iron. They be putting steam and they be putting it's like certain shit just don't need nothing extra added to it. And flat irons is one of those things. Do we don't need no goddamn steam on a flat iron? Um, go to the homepage of my website and then scroll down. It says free porosity test. And then rewind a little bit because I just told that. Please don't make me say that again, girl. Please just rewind a little bit. Somebody just had a question. Praise the Lord. Yeah, you have to rewind it. Yeah, go to my website. Just go to my website. It's great. It's across the bottom of the screen, and then there's gonna be a button that says porosity test. Just click the button. Then it's gonna give it to you. No problem, boo. Okay, so gray hair and menopause is the winner. Is there anything specific that the people who are voting for gray hair with menopause want me to address? Is there like anything in particular they want to hear about menopause? Anything would be awesome, perfect. I got you, boo. Thank you. That's it. I didn't want to say it again. Gray hair, menopause. All right, well, say less, baby. That's what's next. So it depends. That video will either be up early in the morning, or it's gonna be uploaded later in the afternoon. So either at 6 p.m. or the 9 p.m. One of the two. No problem, boo. Veracity and hair shape. That was the only one you went. A lot of women in the blog don't know about hormonal changes. Yes. Okay, perfect. Veracity and hair shaft breaking down is going to be the second one. So first, I'm going to do menopause and hair color, and then the next one after that is going to be porosity and hair shaft breaking down. I put on Miss Honey. It's amazing. And even I need more information. I got you, boy. I promise. Meow, chicka, meow, meow. Hormonal changes and how your hormonal change. Well, do I have a video like that already? I don't think I do. But if I don't, I'm gonna make a video with just like this. And I'ma screenshot this right here so I can put you on your lady voice on. No problem, real. Have a good weekend. How to deal with this stubborn foolishness called old lady hair, but don't call it that. For one, Tina, your hair can hear you. Like that. I hope you ain't say that out loud while you was typing. And hair, I wasn't even talking. She didn't write that about you. That was somebody else. Girl, you better stop saying that because your hair be like foolish. Oh, I show you foolish. Y'all, nope, I'm about to be dry today because I'm foolish. Girl, you better start treating your hair good. You gotta treat it better, baby. It don't have to be messed up. It don't gotta be. No part of my body is because of menopause. But yeah and no. Because yes, menopause causes balding, but there are things that you can do to combat the things that are happening to your body that leads to the balding. So if you always are working in co-creation, when your body stops producing certain things, you can put those things back and you can balance it out. I hope that makes sense. I really hope it makes sense. Yeah, sister. What is the why is all of the are all these holidays? You don't have one. I have been digging in. I'm learning so much, but I love that about you. You've always been like that. It's just stubborn. It's not. Don't say stop talking about it, girl. It's not stubborn. It's just you just haven't. You just don't sweet talk it enough. You're not saying the stuff that you're supposed to be saying. I'm wait until mm, yeah, you sure can. Sometimes that's what you got to do. I remember the reason that I The reason that I called it the 7-day challenge in the first place is because before I presented it to y'all, it was a process that I used for myself whenever I would experience like HS breakouts and stuff like that. Like really, really super duper transparent moment, right? This is inspired by you and your last video. It's your transparent moment, right? Super transparent moment. When I say that HS like pops off in my body, that's what I mean. So the one thing that if I don't want to have an outbreak, or no, the one thing that if I want to be like bum bumps pop up every goddamn well everywhere is just eat beef. A beef brisket specifically. I will have one of the worst HS outbreaks that I've ever had ever in life. So I remember I had grew my hair back. I had grew all of my HS spots back in my hair. Everything was back on the even key. And then me and my mom was at the grocery store and they had these big ass beef briskets on sale. And girl, I bought them. And it was so damn good. Like I put it in a slow roaster. Oh, girl, it was so good. But that spot that I had healed, it came right back, and I had a couple bump ups on my pop, 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 pop. They was just popping up. Yes, it was. And I had to start all over again. And I was like, oh my god, I got to start this all over again. But it was like after every time I had an outbreak in my scalp, if I followed the same 7-day pattern, it came back every time, little to no effort. So I was like, after so many times of me making these videos and people being like, "Oh, Sam, what do I do with this?" And okay, I understand that. I know you're telling me what to do, but I know you're telling me what not to do, but what do I do and how do I reverse all of these things? How do I make these changes? That is how the 7-day challenge was born. And then the growth cycle blueprint was built because after we made this 7-day process, it was like, okay, now that I've cured my inflammation, now that I've cured this hair shaft disorder, how do I pick hair products? What are the best hair products? How do I do flexi rod sets? How do I do a perm rod sets? How do I trim my own hair? How do I blow dry my own hair? What is the best way to detox? How do I detox? What products do I detox with? Literally all of the questions that y'all ask me that y'all want detailed information in, that's in the blueprint. I love y'all, but I've been doing this for 12 years on YouTube. No, 10, 11 years. No, I think it's been about 12 years. Imma double check. I put it in chat when we done. On YouTube, just giving it out freely, 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 freely. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not. Literally every question that anybody has asked in this chat, I swear to you, the blueprint is answered in there. And when the women that are in the blueprint, if it's not answered in there, they ask the question and I make the video. But I'm a scientist, so I first give them it like written down, a written version, and then they get a video version once I know they get that. So speaking of that, blueprint members, make sure you check the blueprint because the part one to your roller set video is in the group. It's in the chat. Uh, I put the detailed broke down in the chat, and then, well, yeah, it's like a blog post within the chat. It's pretty long, guys, and you have a couple of other long blog posts, informational blog posts to go with that. And then next week, you get the visual representation of what you learned in that. I hope that makes sense. Growth Cycle Blueprint members, make sure you go check. But yes. Mm, yes, you better say that. Do I need to complete doctor's treatment before the No, you can do both at the same time. There are multiple people who because that's what I direct everybody to do, to like, if you have extreme scalp inflammation, go see your dermatologist, and excuse me, the majority of the women that are in the 7-day challenge, uh, they have dermatologists that maybe they started seeing after they were in the challenge or before they were in the challenge. Imma be honest, the majority of the women who were doing the 7-day challenge, had already been to see the dermatologist and wasn't really listening, or the dermatologist wasn't giving them enough. So then they would follow the 7-day challenge or the blueprint. The 7-day challenge is also inside of the blueprint. So they will follow the patterns and the routines, and then they wouldn't need the medication that the dermatologist gave them. but I wouldn't necessarily stop, right? I would just go ahead, get into the challenge, start doing everything, and you'll find that once you're in there, the the thing that the dermatologist gave you, the treatment that the dermatologist gave you was gonna fit into the challenge. The basis of what I can say. Just know women would kill. Yeah, gray hair is in now. They got whole weeds for gray hair. Okay, I have to play by her rules, and I must learn them. Scalp reset. Yes. All right. Because y'all having conversations with each other. I'm about to read y'all conversations. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all talk to each other. I love y'all so much. This was a really, really cool, chill vibe. I this is probably TMI, but I am about to go shampoo my hair. Shampoo. I'm about to go rinse my hair out, and then I'm going to blow dry it, and I'm probably going to bed. But I really wanted to go ahead and have this conversation about castor oil. So give me an 8 in the chat if everything is okay. Did you guys understand what I'm saying about castor oil? Do you understand the pros, the cons, and do you understand when you should and should not use castor oil? And last question, are you offended? Did I make your booty itch? Did I make you upset? Hmm? Did I make your armpits start to drip just a little bit of sweat? Did I? I am sorry if I did, because that was not my intention. Okay. I love you guys so much. So very much. Right? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yes, I got your back about the castor oil because I drink mine. And that's what I'm saying. If y'all want all of the most amazing benefits of castor oil, then drink it. Ugh. It's nasty, but still good. Gross. Love you too, Stan. You better. Love you too, Deborah. What kind of brush should we use on our hair or not? It depends on what you're doing. Yeah. It depends on what you're doing because all brushes have a certain purpose. And speaking of brushes having a purpose, you members of 7 Day Challenge on the Blueprint, check your groups because there is so much informational content in there. I just posted a whole blog post within the group about combs and brushes and what each of them are, like certain combs and brushes and what each one of them are used for and all of the things. So I'm not ignoring you, but I can't answer this question because I already answered that question and did like a full like layout of the answer to your question within the groups that people already paid for. So they're gonna be mad at me if I just tell you. So don't be mad at me. I'm sorry to answer that question. Okay. Okay. What? What you had to taste of it? Please speak now. Let it dark sky or forever hold your peace because or no, don't hold your peace. Just don't hold nothing. Just what the hell you mix it with? Because it tastes like, not that I know what boo boo sprinkles taste like, but if boo boo sprinkles was like a thing, I would imagine that that shit tastes like Castro. I would imagine that that's what it was like. Hmm. But yeah, again, I'll just wait. Like tell me in the chat, back in the comments of what you mix it with because I don't understand how you get all the nasty ass taste. But love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Ooh, pretty. Oh, or cherry juice. That's such a good idea. I'm gonna try it and let you know. But I love y'all so much. Video that's coming tomorrow is hair color and menopause. It's gonna be 2 for 1 special. You know what I'm saying? I think I got a little intro made for it, but I'm gonna just be talking over it like this. So thank you. Ooh, you setting me up. You know I can't leave if you giving me money. Why you throwing money at me, trying to making me dance for you, girls? I'm just playing. Is he protecting something to be cautious about? It was nothing to be cautious about, but it's something you can use. Actually, Cree has a video on heat protectants, right? So you should go watch her video on heat protectants. Where's Cree? Where are you? Where's your hold on? Would you go to my sister's channel? Here she is. Here she is, Cree Sherelle and this goddamn motherfucker. So she has a full video about heat protectant. So go watch her video on heat protectant because she breaks all of that down. It's a really, really good I can, but just make some capsules out of it. Oh my god. Girl, you done gave me an idea. Okay, I'm about to go. I love y'all so much, and I will see you later. Thanks everybody for the super chat. I really, 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 oh my God, appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome in, girl. Welcome. And thank all of you so much for the super chat. It's everything. You guys thing because you could have bought a double cheeseburger and got some mac sauce on it. But girl, you gave me $5, girl. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And you could have got two double cheeseburgers and probably like a large fry and like a drink, even though they don't even got the dollar menu no more. But you could have got some stuff, girl. Thank you. I appreciate you. And you too, girl. You can't get no caniac combo, but you can at least get some fries from Cane's, baby. Some fries and maybe a drink. But you gave me the $5. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. You know. So all of you have a really, really good night. Thank you for listening to me and chilling with me tonight. And until next time, bye girl. Like bye.